I haven't been able to get every blemish out of the panel, but certainly improved it 1,000,000%. Right, onto the door now. Hello, good morning, it's Ted from The Devil's in the Detail. I'm stripping the door down to remove the door handles and the mirror so I can flat the top of the door better. But while it was off, I'm going to wet flat this rail and anywhere that needs knocking down. It's a bit orange peely, as you could probably see. And I thought I'd just demonstrate how I get these rubbers off without damaging them. Now, I've got a normal filler applicator, and I've got to do this but with one hand now. Slide it under the rubber and just gently lift and then move along. Don't be tempted to pull one end up and just yank it out, because if you bend it, they never go back straight. So just keep working the applicator along until you feel it come out the clips. Now I really could do with two hands here, but I'm just going to keep working it until it's free of the clips like that, and then I'll gently just lift it gently. The back clip's still got it a little bit, but that's it. Now I can flat it without damaging the rubber, and also I can remove these, might be better to show you from this side, the clips that have been replaced. They stand up quite a lot more, so when I'm flatting, I'm going to catch my flatted paper and my fingers on these sharp edges. This is an original one, and that sits lower. It doesn't affect the way the rubber fits having a lighter, like the taller one on, but it does affect when you catch your fingers on one, because I already split the end of my thumb the last time when I done the other side. So I'm going to remove these clips, and these should just push to one side, and that little tab there just clips in. Let's see if I can, into that little hole there. So it's just a case of getting your fingers in, move it about until it releases, which this one isn't. I'll have to use a screwdriver on that one. Let's try that one. That one come out easy enough. So that's how you remove the rubbers safely. And obviously, if I show you the clip sticking up, you can see it's like a razor blade when you rub your hand over it. So that's why I'm removing it. And the same with the outside rubbers, they could be lifted. They use the same clips on the outside, although they're a little bit more stubborn to get off. Right, I'll see you a bit later. I've just finished putting the fourth coat of Solution Plus onto the rear spoiler. It's been soaking it up like a sponge, so I'm hoping that's the last coat it will need. We have got the colour back. I'm just going to let that last coat soak, and then hopefully we should be all right. But it looks quite good, and then I'll be able to unmask this back end. I won't unmask it until I've wiped down the excess. I don't want it over the paintwork at this stage. The rear quarter is now at a good level. I can't get everything out over the wheel arch because it's had a wheel arch installed, and the panel work underneath it isn't straight, and I can only flat so far, but it is a million times better than it was. And now I'm starting on the door. I'm going to do the inside first, and then we'll be doing the outside. Now there's some of this which, if I can get it by the door handle, there's some that I'm just not going to be able to do anything with, because it's actually, well, it's right on the swage line. I'll see what I can do with it, but as you can see in the light there, you know, there is some big lows. There's a couple of them, and it actually goes on. I can't show it, it's not showing up on the swage line, but on the swage line it's out of shape, so I won't be able to do much with that. But the rest of it will be alright. But I'm now going to start flatting this section down. I'll mask the front rubber off. I'm not taking the quarter light out. And I'll put some brown paper over this so this don't get covered in red residue. I want to keep it nice, looking nice like that. And that's where we're at. Now I've got them clips off, or the one that was a bit stubborn, that's off, so I can flat that without chopping my fingers up. And we'll get at it and progress, and hopefully, you know, if I can get the door like the rest of it, you know, then it's all a win, in it. So I'll see you on the next one. Right, I've now flatted the inside of the door, top rail anyway, and I'm going to use a 2-inch polisher to get it polished up. So I thought I'd just show you it flatted. I haven't got every little bit of orange peel out of it, because there's not enough paint to go deeper and polish it, so it's going to be, you know, this is as far as I can go. So I'll polish it up and I'll show it you later. I'll just give this a wipe off and then check that I'm getting all the flatting marks out of it. I think one more set should do the trick. Started to look really nice. I'll just go over it again with the finisher, and that should be it. So there we have it. Well, while I've been doing the door, and I've just been removing overspray by polishing the inside of the door aperture, and all inside this aperture is all overspray, and I'm just going along the sill, and if you listen, can you hear how rough it is? That's where I've done, and that's where I haven't. So polishing the sills now to get the overspray off the sills, but that's all looking fresh. The door's all looking fresh. I've cleaned all the excess wax oil that's dripped out the bottom of the door. That's all clean. So once this sill's finished, I can start on the outside of the driver's door then. But it's important to get the entry part of the car nice and clean. You know, these are the details that make the difference. Right, so I'm going to crack on. As you can see, I've got a 1 inch, a 2 inch polisher and my finger. So I'm just going to mask that rubber off and get on with that. I've just finished doing the door aperture, the sill section, the A pillar. Of course, I've done the inside of the door as best as I could get in there. A lot of this I've had to do with my fingers and not machines. But that looks really nice, as does the door. So I won't be building the door back up yet because I don't want the door handle and the mirror in the way. So that can wait till I've done the door. Right then, let's move on, start flatting the door. Still got a couple of hours left. See you later. Good morning. It's Saturday today, and I've come in to do 4 or 5 hours more flatting. Thought I'd just do a quick walk around and show the spoiler. I've just unmasked the boot lid, and like I said yesterday, the spoiler's had 4 coats of Solution Plus, or is it Solution First? Let's have a look. Solution Finish. I wasn't even close, was I? Solution Finish, and that's brought the spoiler back, and it looks quite decent, to be fair. So that's been unmasked. I've got the lock to put in, but working around and onto the door, which I'm actually on at the moment. Now basically, you imagine when this has been painted, the body shop have more or less polished this section, leaving more orange peel at the top and a lot of paint build up, and orange peel is down near the swage line. Now if I try and get the light so you could see right on the swage line, and this is where I've already been flatting. It distorts quite badly, so after hours of trying to flat that out, I've still got to go over it again to try and get it somewhere near right. But there's a lot of defects that are right down near the swage line. As you can see, the light's all over the place, and this is caused by high and low spots in the panel repairs, and I can't get rid of everything, but to get the light to match the finish I've achieved at the rest of the panel, I do need to try and flat some of these defects out. Now, in a few minutes when I start flatting, I'll film and show why this particular job is taking so long, because just trying to take paint off this area, you know, like the last 2 inches, I'm still taking paint off in this area, so I have to be careful that I don't go through. I'm not seeing it as a problem because I'm trying to feather down the finish, but there's also some really deep scratching in this door. Whether they'll show up, I don't know, but there's some really deep scratches all along here and across here, and so I'm having to flat down quite a long way anyway to remove the scratches. So at the same time, I've got to be aware that, you know, I still want the panels to match as we walk down the car. So, you know, I'm having to keep an eye on really what sort of finish I'm getting. Now, you can clearly see, as soon as you get to the swage line, everything changes from nice and flat to that. So, like I say, I've spent hours already just on this top of the door, because as you know, I pointed out there was a lot of defecting round this handle part, and to get even some of it out has been a real mission. But even I've lifted a little bit of this crease that was just here. Not enough to take it out completely, but to be fair, you've got to really look. And when the handle's in, imagine the handle will be here, your eye won't go straight to it. So that's coming along okay. There's a couple of dinks in the paint, which are too low for me to get out. You can see that one there just disturbing the light, and that's too low for me to get out, but I have got loads of them out. I'll show you some of the flatting shortly. Well, it's been 4.5 hours since I last showed what the door looked like. Now, there's a dent, and without actually repairing the panel, I cannot do anything with it, so that shows up as a wobble. But like I say, it's dented and it's high, and there are eye spots around it, but if you'd have asked me earlier if I thought that I could get it to this, I'd have probably said no. But I think that's more than acceptable. So, all we've got to do now is see if we can get that the same. And if that took 4.5 hours, you can imagine what that's going to take. Right, well, it's Saturday afternoon, and I'll see you Monday. Right, because I've done the top of the door, I was able to put the mirror and the door locks back in and rebuild the door card, and looks a million times better now. Everything's polished up, all the new trim looks beautiful, and I've cleaned all the gasket and everything up before it's all gone back together, and the same with the mirror, made sure that all the polishing that was done before had put residue on the gaskets, so they're nice and clean. And Monday I shall be on the bottom of the door. I'm not even going to start thinking how far I'll get, but today has proved very productive and better than I anticipated. And I'm sure Matt's going to be tickled pink when he sees it. So we're making great progress now. Get the door done, then onto the wing, and Matt has asked me if I'll polish all these bits up while it's exposed. Of course, the grill's off, having the silver piece painted in the middle of the grill. Once we get round there, I shall do the front spoiler and then onto the engine bay, and then we'll have the wheels off and start with the underside. But we've got a lot to do before we get there. But it's coming along nicely. The spoiler's come out nice. I fitted the lock back in this morning, and so now the boot will shut. But it's starting to look nice. Look $1 million driving down the road. Lovely. Right, I'll see you soon. I've started to flat the door. Obviously there's quite a bit of rippling around the door lock and the door handle. A lot of it is when the bolts are over tightened on the door handles, it bulges the panel out, as you can see. But if you can see, there's a crease that runs from the door handle along here. Now just that crease there affects an area about that size around where the dent's gone in. So if you could see what it's going to do to the light, it disrupts an area from there where I could get it straight, and then as I come down it's going to bulge. Now you can see the severity of it. So this is possibly, because it is quite a sharp crease, it isn't something that I think I can get out, but I'm getting there's quite a few low spots as I'm going along, which I've managed to level out, and needs a bit more flatting, but it is getting a bit more level. But that's the bit that's concerning me, because it makes a massive difference to the light when it hits around the door handle. So I'm just going to carry on and see what it looks like as I get down the panel, because there's quite a few disruptions to deal with. As you can see, the light angle changing, and it all depends. If I've got enough paint to level it, I will. But this area, that part's that low, I'm not even going to try and touch it, because I've got to polish right on the edge then, and I don't want to go through. The top has virtually gone flat, so that shouldn't be so bad. But just have to crack on and see what I can do with it. More flatting, and see how flat I can get it looking. but I think that's going to spoil the old panel. You can see where it's dark is where the low bits are. Right, I'm going to carry on. I'll see you in a bit.